Today on Running to Him.
Sometimes, in doing God's will, things seem to become more difficult rather than easy. Today's reading is Exodus chapter 5, and we'll be concentrating on verses 19 through 23. Exodus 5, 19 through 23 says, "The foremen of the sons of Israel saw that they were in trouble because they were told, 'You must not reduce your daily amount of bricks.' When they left Pharaoh's presence, they met Moses and Aaron as they were waiting for them. They said to them, 'May the Lord look upon you and judge you, for you have made us odious in Pharaoh's sight and in the sight of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to kill us.' Then Moses returned to the Lord and said, 'O Lord, why have you brought harm to this people? Why did you ever send me? Ever since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done harm to this people, and you have not delivered your people at all.'" When we follow God's will, we think everything will be easy because we're doing what we're supposed to do. However, sometimes it happens that things smooth out immediately, but many times, some may even say most times, items become more difficult before they get better. A few years back, some psychiatrists and psychologists experimented with 5 and 6-year-old children. They placed each child separately in a room at a table with a plate and a marshmallow on it. The children were told that if they sat there and did not eat the marshmallow until the adult came back in the room, they would get 2 marshmallows to eat rather than just 1. The results were interesting. The longer the adult was out of the room, the greater temptation was to eat the marshmallow. Some succumbed to the temptation, others did not, and those who didn't received a second marshmallow. Now, how does this illustration fit into today's story? Moses arrived and went back to ask Pharaoh to allow the Jews 3 days in the desert to worship God. Instead, Pharaoh denied the request and made the Israelites work even harder than it was previously. So things became worse rather than better. It certainly seems that sometimes things get worse before they get better when we follow God's will. When Tony and I left the security of the Army, even though in the Army we had little pay and we moved 3 times in 2.5 years, we thought we were in God's will in leaving. Yet, in less than 6 months, both Tony and I experienced severe medical situations, and I quit a job for ethical reasons. We questioned why God would allow something like this to happen when we were supposedly following his will. He used those 6 months to show us that he was in control, even though things seemed to go from bad to worse. He provided for our needs and sent people to comfort us and guide us. Over the next 4 years, we had many ups and downs, but God was always faithful in protecting us, even when we thought differently. The Israelites were about to experience the most challenging time in Egypt, yet God used that time to prepare them for their desert trek and to judge the Egyptians for their treatment of Jews. Now we're going through some stressful times in our country. Many people view Christians as mean-spirited and bigoted people. Those who don't capitulate to popular opinion are demonized. We have a choice: follow God's leading and ultimately win the battle, or succumb to temptation and ultimately struggle through even more significant stress.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.